lamps full understandings.
Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will have dreams, and your young men will see visions. I will even give my spirit to my servants, both men and women. I will work wonders in the sky above and on the earth below. The sun will turn dark, and the moon will be as red as blood before that great and terrible day when I appear.
Today is the Hebrew festival day of Shushan Purim, Adar 15, March 3, 2026 CE.
This day is joyfully celebrated in a party-like, exuberant fashion by old and young alike.
We are not celebrating Halloween. We are going to celebrate the Jewish holiday of Purim here in Israel. This is how we celebrate today.
Because most of the population here is Jewish, Purim is a big deal here. Purim happens every year around the end of winter and beginning of spring. In Israel, if you walk down the streets just before Purim, you will see so many costume stores. Israelis love to go out to the streets and party in their costumes. Entire streets become filled. For thousands of years, Jews have been celebrating Purim.
You wouldn't think it, but Yahweh arranged this day to become his son's birthday.
Jesus was born on a full moon, Adar 15, March 5, 6 BCE.
This festival day came out of the story recorded in the book of Esther. Haman began to cast lot in order to determine a genocide date of all the Jews in the entire realm. An attempt to kill all the Jews in this manner in this huge realm is effectively attempting to kill off the future Messiah.
We noticed that the lot began in Nisan, the first month of the year that begins Yahweh's 7 celebrated appointed times, and ended in Adar, the final month of the year. They began presumably Nisan 1 and progressed each day from day to day and month to month. Finally, the die rolled saying yes on day 338, being Adar 13. But
not until after 337 days in a row, the lot profusely saying no. You can imagine the frustration that Haman went through when the die would never say yes, day after day after day, advancing through the calendar to pick the date. Not only would Haman have to wait that long before he could put his plan into effect, the Jews would have that time to prepare.
In the end, through twist and turn, the genocide was not permitted to happen. However, in the scriptures, there is a genocide that does happen 2 years after Jesus is born in Bethlehem.
Just before the Bethlehem genocide, the wise men appear before Herod and declare that the child Messiah was born a diligent and accurate 2 years before the day they stood before Herod, who is biblically recorded as dying shortly after he ordered the Bethlehem genocide. Providentially, the writings of Josephus provide an extensive description of the days and weeks leading up to the death of Herod, and describes a Passover that occurs 2 weeks after he dies.
Josephus.
Antiquities of the Jews.
Book 17.
Chapter 6.
Section 4.
But the people, on account of Herod's barbarous temper, and for fear he should be so cruel and to inflict punishment on them, said what was done without their approbation, and that it seemed to them that the actors might well be punished for what they had done. But as for Herod, he dealt more mildly with others, but he deprived Matthias of the high priesthood, as in part an occasion of this action, and made Joser, who was Matthias's wife's brother, high priest in his stead. Now it happened that during the time of the high priesthood of this Matthias, there was another person made high priest for a single day, that very day which the Jews observed as a fast. The occasion was this: this Matthias the high priest, on the night before that day when the fast was to be celebrated, seemed in a dream to have conversation with his wife. And because he could not officiate himself on that account, Joseph, the son of Elimas, his kinsman, assisted him in that sacred office. But Herod deprived this Matthias of the high priesthood, and burnt the other Matthias, who had raised the sedition with his companions, alive. And that very night there was an eclipse of the moon.
Chapter 7. Herod has thoughts of killing himself with his own hand.
Chapter 8. Concerning Herod's death and testament and burial.
Section 1.
When he, Herod, had done these things, he died the 5th day after he had caused Antipater to be slain, having reigned since he had procured Antigonus to be slain 34 years, but since he had been declared king by the Romans 37.
Section 4.
Now Archelaus paid him so much respect as to continue his mourning till the 7th day, for so many days are appointed for it by the law of our fathers.
Chapter 9. How the people raised a sedition against Archelaus, and how he sailed to Rome.
Section 1.
At this time also it was that some of the Jews got together out of a desire of innovation. They lamented Matthias.
Section 2. So when the king had suggested these things and instructed his general in what he was to say, he sent him away to the people. But they made a clamor and would not give him leave to speak and put him in danger of his life.
Section 3. Now, upon the approach of that feast of unleavened bread, which the law of their fathers had appointed for the Jews at this time, which feast is called the Passover.
Note 7. This fact that one Joseph was made high priest for a single day. On occasion of the action here specified, that befell Matthias, the real high priest in his sleep, the night before the great day of expiation, is attested to both in the Mishnah and Talmud, as Dr. Hudson here informs us.
Note 8. This eclipse of the moon, which is the only eclipse of either of the luminaries mentioned by our Josephus in any of his writings, is of the greatest consequence for the determination of the time for the death of Herod and Antipater, and for the birth and entire chronology of Jesus Christ. It happened March 13th, in the year of the Julian period 4710, and the 4th year before the Christian era.
Timing of the death of Herod.
The scholarly consensus, based on Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews, is that Herod died at the end of March or early April in 4 BC. Josephus wrote that Herod died 37 years after being named as king by the Romans, and 34 years after the death of Antigonus. This would imply that he died in 4 BC. This is confirmed by the fact that his 3 sons, between whom his kingdom was divided, dated their rule from 4 BC. For instance, he states that Herod Philip II's death took place after a 37-year reign in the 20th year of Tiberius, which would imply that he took over on Herod's death in 4 BC. In addition, Josephus wrote that Herod died after a lunar eclipse, and a partial eclipse took place in 4 BC. It has been suggested that 5 BC might be a more likely date. There were 2 total eclipses in that year. However, the 4 BC date is almost universally accepted.
What is so astounding about this Josephus narrative description, which is timed within proximity of the wise men visiting, is his record of a blood moon that occurred on the celebrated fast day just before Herod died, 2 weeks before a Passover. Such a fast, just before a Passover, can only be the fast of Purim on Adar 13.
That very night, the high priest was up all night long due to profuse dreams, presumably of horror. The narrative is indistinguishable from an average epic biblical story.
It only stands to reason the high priest could not sleep all night, and therefore unable to perform his extra fast day duties, that his dreams were related to the prophesied horrors of the children being killed that very blood moon night. It is interesting that the king in the story of Esther also had a night in which he could not sleep.
In Yahweh's plan of choosing this genocide date, because only Yahweh can cause that many no answers in a row to occur, Yahweh is actually choosing the date of the Bethlehem genocide. Esther results in the Shushan Purim happy day of celebration on Adar 15, which becomes the birthday of Jesus just days after Jesus and his parents will escape that Bethlehem genocide.
While Haman thinks he's picking a genocide date of the Jews, he's actually picking a date that the Messiah will escape genocide, very close to his actual birthday, as the wise men testified. Yahweh is in control of the lot, and he's choosing the date of his son's birth.
One must see the irony. Haman thinks he's on a path to kill all the Jews and consequently, the Messiah. However, Yahweh is picking his son's birthday through Haman's attempt to pick Christ's genocide. Haman has no idea who it is he is battling with.
The wise men said they saw the star that represented his birthday 2 years prior, and the next morning, on their travel to Bethlehem, they saw the star again.
The wise men would set out on their walking journey from Jerusalem, due south to Bethlehem, likely in the morning. About 8 a.m. at this time, when looking eastward, they would see a conjunction of Saturn and Mars.
This conjunction was part of the star narrative that they saw 2 years prior. Mars has a periodic orbit of the Sun that takes about 2 years. Hence, in that amount of time Mars has gone around and joined up with Saturn once again.
A walk from Jerusalem to Bethlehem takes about 6 hours. When they arrive in Bethlehem about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, that star they speak of seeing again, being the conjunction of Mars and Saturn, is now directly overhead and has thusly moved from east to west, situated above them as they arrive, as though it followed and led them directly to the town.
Of all the years within the reasonable time frame, as provided by scriptures, only the year 4 BCE has a blood moon coincident with the Purim fast day on a leap year 2nd Adar, Adar 13, which corresponds to the beginning of the Hebrew year 4 BCE, Gregorian March 13th, 4 BCE.
This celestial record, coincident with a celebrated fast day just before a Passover recorded by Josephus, makes the dating of Herod's death indisputable. This being the case, and Jesus at this same time being an accurate 2 years old, results in his birth year beginning in the year 6 BCE.
The star that the wise men saw was a rare conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn that began May 29th, 7 BCE and ended early December 7 BCE. A retrograde movement phenomena caused these two largest planets to appear together as one very bright star 3 times within that period and remain in very close proximity to each other until they resumed normal travel appearance. The final date of birth being March 5th, 6 BCE, Adar 15, included 4 celestial bodies.
Aligning on the birthday, including a glowing comet.
Lamp's Full Understandings within YouTube has a complete set of nativity, celestial sign visual videos, and explanation revealing the details of the nativity story recorded in Yahweh's celestial heavens, created with intention to show signs and appointed times.
Shortly after the wise men arrive to visit with Jesus, they're told to leave another way. Then Joseph is told to leave immediately because Herod has planned to send soldiers to kill the child.
In this modern moment, the same country of Persia that Haman lived in all those years ago once again has a leadership that is committed to the complete eradication of the nation of Israel. They had developed nuclear, mobilized armaments, and armed proxies all around Israel as an inner circle threat. But now Iran and all of its preparations have been decimated by Yahweh through Israel, along with Yahweh's strategic use of America and its Antichrist leader.
This is not the end of the war. When the dust settles, a time of preparation will begin. August 12, 2026. This is the date that begins the period quoted in Revelation 9.
And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men.
It is this time frame when, counted back from the hour of Jesus' return, that defines a total solar eclipse through northern Europe, signifying the beginning of the Gogian host preparation.
Most historically important rivers in the world is drying up.
Revelation 16 speaks of the marker that we will see concerning the actual Euphrates River drying up, a fact we have been watching occur for many years now.
And the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Revelation 9 describes 4 angels which will be loosed from the Euphrates River when it is time for the Gogian invasion to begin. However, they are bound until the period of preparation has been completed. These 4 may represent 4 Islamic countries from the east of the Euphrates that will take part in the Gogian Confederacy.
And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before Yahweh, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men.
A time of preparation begins August 12th, 2026, which begins the preparing for revenge.
Only a month ago, Netanyahu mentioned that the dam waters of Iran are set to be completely dry by September 2026 and offered to help Iran with water supply in exchange for peace.
Today I'm going to make an unprecedented offer to Iran. To the proud people of Iran. A few days ago, the Iranian president said, "We have problems with water, electricity, money, and inflation. Where don't we have a problem? There won't be any water in the dams by September or October." He's right. Everything is collapsing. We know exactly what to do, so Iran can also have plentiful water. So here's the great news. The moment your country is free, Israel's top water experts will flood into every Iranian city, bringing cutting-edge technology and know-how. We will help Iran recycle water, we'll help Iran desalinate water.
Will a drought in Iran do what Israel couldn't? Iran's in the grip of an extreme drought, so severe that the country's capital could run out of water in just weeks. And water is just part of the crisis. Rolling blackouts are grinding businesses to a halt and crushing the economy. Iranians are furious. They blame government corruption and mismanagement because it turns out pouring billions into Hezbollah, Hamas, and hundreds of missiles shot down by Israel didn't leave much left for fixing essential infrastructure at home.
Astronomical new moon dates, Jerusalem time.
Between 2026 and 2027, an additional lunar period was added to the Hebrew calendar to adjust the year back to nature's perfect solar cycle. The Jewish year will have 13 completed lunar periods instead of 12. The two Adar periods are considered as part of the one inclusive year as though they represent a single period, therefore we understand them to be counted as one.
A detailed date listing of the prophecy of Revelation 9.
And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men.
The entities being held back are nations that want the destruction of the Jews but have never made a fully manifested, concerted effort to genocide them. After all, they were bound.
Start. Wednesday, August 12, 2026. Total solar eclipse through Northern Europe signifying location of Gog.
A year portion of the prophecy.
Completed lunar periods.
1 Friday, September 11th.
2 Saturday, October 10th.
3 Monday, November 9th.
For Wednesday, December 9th.
5 Thursday, January 7th.
6 Saturday, February 6th. Adar 1 solar eclipse in Capricornus, visible in Israel.
6 Monday, March 8th, Adar 2.
7 Wednesday, April 7th. Half an hour of silence in heaven and on earth ends the dominion of mankind and begins the time of the dominion of Jesus. Jesus begins the tribulations, offering a time of judgment and repentance.
8 Thursday, May 6th.
9 Friday, June 4th.
10 Sunday, July 4th.
11 Monday, August 2nd. Total solar eclipse in Egypt, sign of the Son of Man coming.
12 Tuesday, August 31st.
This completes the year of the prophecy.
A month portion of the prophecy.
13 Thursday, September 30th.
A day portion of the prophecy.
One more day, Friday, October 1st, 2027, 6:25 p.m. The Sabbath day begins. Normally being sunset, the gate would close, but at this time, according to the prophecy of Zechariah 14, Yahweh begins to make it remain light out despite the sunset.
An hour portion of the prophecy.
1 hour after sunset, the first crescent of the moon is visible.
This is now a qualified feast of trumpets, Rosh Hashanah. The shofar trumpets may be blown.
The return of the Messiah requires that he enters through the east gate of the Temple Mount, but the east gate has rules concerning when it is open and when it is closed.
Ezekiel 46.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be opened, and in the day of the new moon it shall be opened. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening.
The rules of the opening or closing of the gate are provided to let us pinpoint the specific time of the hour of Messiah's return. The prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate.
6 working days the gate is always shut, day or night. On a Sabbath, during daylight the gate is open. On a new moon day, no matter what day of the week, the gate remains open during daylight. Under all circumstances, by sunset the gate is closed.
Saturn, the bride of Christ, comes above the horizon in the extra hour, God providing the light. The return of Jesus is a procession, just like the one found in the story of Jericho.
Angel soldiers come first, then the Jesus Ark, and then the rear guard, the saints that were assembled in the heavens with Christ to participate in the marriage supper of the Lamb.
Saturn represents the bride of Christ, and its appearing above the horizon in the extra hour reveals the bride of Christ trailing the procession, as Jesus and the angels are already below the horizon in their approach through the east gate.
God will make it stay light out.
Zechariah 14.
But it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass, that at evening time it shall be light.
On the return of Jesus' day, he comes as a thief after sunset, in an hour you don't know. Usually, in the darkness the east gate would be closed, even if it's a Sabbath. But on that particular day Yahweh will make it be light out. At evening time it shall be light, even though it's after sunset. The east gate will qualify to be open for the Lord to return through it at this time, as it says, as a thief in the night, when you would least expect the gate to be open.
Due to the ability to read the celestial signs, we can fully understand the formulaic language of Revelations to pinpoint the beginning of the hour, day, month and year period and its ending hour, which is the actual return moment of Jesus. Many times and repeatedly Jesus says, "I come in an hour." It's not an hour that you would know about until it's an hour you know due to leaving the biblical written word and attaining unto the biblical celestial word to find it.
In order for John to have received the visions, he was presented with a door upon going through led him into a vision of the heavens and the throne of God.
Revelation 4.
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne.
There is no point to symbols unless they have a manifestation in the real world. The symbols are not there just to create a mystical vision.
It is only when John got himself up into the heavens through the provided door did he see the visions to begin his understanding of what would come in the latter days. This is confirmation that it is necessary to have learned how to read the celestial signs in order to have the necessary tools and background upon which to read the signs contained within the revelation. In order to fully understand Revelation in its most detailed fashion, as it relates to actual manifestation in the real world.
This period of preparation will lead to an army that has gathered to make a final genocidal assault on the land of Israel towards September 2027.
Ezekiel 38 describes a time when a large army will amass against Israel and a short battle will ensue for a month or so. Its principal antagonist will be Russia, but it will include Persia, Iran, Libya, Ethiopia or Sudan, likely also Turkey, Assyria, Lebanon and Eastern Muslim countries.
They will follow a strategy of physically walking through Israel with a very large army and systematically destroying everything in their path.
Joel 2.
A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. And nothing shall escape them.
However, Jesus will return before they can occupy the second half of Jerusalem and utterly decimate them and drive them back to the uttermost parts of the north, where they came from.
Zechariah 14.
For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
The Gogian host will be completely decimated.
Zechariah 14.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day, that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. The Gogian host will be removed from the land.
Joel 2.
But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea.
People like to ask, what does the blood moon of March 3rd, 2026 mean? The lunar eclipse that we've just witnessed is the third in 3 years, all occurring on the birthday of Jesus. In 2027, there will be a fourth. This pattern is not unusual in its reoccurrence, however, when it has occurred, lends it to being messianic. It occurred in the years 24 to 27 CE. The year of resurrection was 27 CE. During the Holocaust 1940 to 1943. 1959 to 1962 and lately 2024 to 2026 and will occur again in 2027.
It's not so much about the single event, but the pattern, and it's not that the pattern happens once, but the pattern happens many times, and it's not that the pattern happens many times, but that they happen many times with some important common context.
27 CE was an attempt to kill Jesus once and for all. The Holocaust was a genocide attempt, and Iran has been long planning a genocide attempt.
3 major attempts.
Rebutted. The pattern tells us that there will be a fourth, another attempt in revenge. A revenge day they think they are choosing, just like Haman. However, it will be a day that Yahweh has already chosen. Once again they will not succeed, just as they never have.
I have not included here every possible proof that can be given for the things that I say. However, Lamp's Full Understandings in YouTube contains many videos that provide more details for further study and complete understanding.
It is not through prophecy that we have salvation, but it is through the belief, faith, and conviction of the heart and devotion to Jesus that does lead us upon the path of salvation.
Isaiah 55 contains a clarion call.
Incline your ear, and come unto me, hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him, Jesus, for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee because of the Lord thy Yahweh, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him. And to our Yahweh, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
As these days progress, biblical prophecy will come into clear focus, and then soon become undeniable. In these final days, take for yourself and your family the time to evaluate your destiny.
Lamp's Full Understandings. Freely ye have received, freely give. Like, subscribe and share.